Hello, my name is Henrik Anker Olsen. I'm going to talk to you today about China. And what we see in China today is world history. We are seeing an unprecedented growth in China that is never seen before in world history. We are seeing an economy that is the Chinese economy is going to be bigger than the American economy by 2016. Today in 2014, the Chinese economy is 75% of the American economy. So that's very, very impressive. What we're seeing is that the Chinese have a huge currency surplus of $3.8 billion. They have so much money. They have mountains of capital stacked up, and they're starting to spend it abroad outside of China. So the interesting part here is obviously how can we compete with China going forward, but also how can we all make sure that we win on the back of the success of China. So what is it today, for example, that the Chinese are missing? Obviously the Chinese are working very hard. They've had 50 years in the Cultural Revolution where they were not very well fed and they didn't get very rich. They are now getting rich very quick. They are very interested in materialism, in what we call a bling-bling culture. What the West can export to China is very much high-tech, green technologies. It's also wellness. It's also our approaches around happiness and enjoying your life and having a good work-life balance. Those are some of the key components that we are seeing missing in the Chinese society. So there's a huge numbers of consumers, 1.3 billion Chinese, and hundreds of thousands, actually millions of Chinese that are now they're millionaires in dollars, and they will come to Denmark and to Europe and to the world, and they are going out to be consumers, and a lot of them were actually moving out of China to find places that are better to live with higher life quality than what they have in China today. And this represents a significant business opportunity for major corporations, multinationals, and also for individuals. How do you capitalize on the Chinese going abroad? And also, how can you capitalize on Chinese companies going abroad? Chinese companies have traditionally been focused on the domestic market in China. What they need now is to really take their operating models and make them global. So in order for Chinese companies to go global, they need a global business model, they need global business processes, they need global organizations, they need global brands, which many of them are lacking today, and need global execution capabilities. On the other hand, you can say for multinationals to succeed in China, they need to understand that China is a vast, diversified market with several tiers. You have the coastal cities, which are already very rich. That's one, tier, or the very developed segment. Then you have the less developed segment, closer to the coastal areas, and you have the rural areas that are actually poor. And then you must understand that there's today around 600 million Chinese that are still living in poverty. This still represents a huge opportunity for growth. It also is undermining the fact that China will continue to grow with a significant growth rate for many years to come, as 600 million hungry Chinese will continue to work very, very hard to make sure that the Chinese economy and the Chinese individuals become stronger and stronger going forward. Now, what's important when you do business in China is obviously the guanxi, or the connection that you have with your Chinese counterpart. Chinese people only deal with people that they trust and they know, and they will not go in and make a contract based on they don't really care so much about what's in the contract. What they care about is the intent of the contract. So that's very, very important to understand that the Chinese do business with their friends and not so much based on Western legal systems. They're very focused on, we are in this together, we win together or we lose together. So that part of the culture is incredibly important. But forget about small European markets. Think big. Think 1.3 billion consumers. Think global. This is the way you have to deal with the Chinese consumers. But you also have to be aware that most of the young Chinese people today are brought up as single children. So they're coming from a history where they are brought up as small emperors. So they have this dog-eat-dog attitude. You have to fight your way up inside the corporations. So you will see that a lot when you deal with the youngsters in companies, that they are hugely ambitious, and they will do pretty much anything they can to succeed, and that's really interesting and important. Now, what you also need to think about is that the opportunity in China today is very much for Western companies to center around creativity and innovation, because the Chinese school system is very much focused around that you should do what your teacher tells you, and it doesn't foster collaboration and innovation. So this represents a huge business opportunity for Western companies. This is what we can sell to Chinese consumers. They are coming after it very quickly, and of course they're super smart and super intelligent and super motivated. But on the short term, this is what we should be focusing on selling to China: creativity, innovation, work-life balance, green tech, all these things that are working well in the Western world. They have a huge problem with pollution. There's millions of people dying of lung cancer right now due to the heavy pollution you have in the city of, for example, Beijing. If you're outside in Beijing a full day today, that would be the same as smoking 70 cigarettes a day. This is a total environmental disaster in the making, and it is happening right now. In Xi'an, another city, you have the pollution index above 1,000. It's unheard of, and you're seeing Chinese now moving out of China simply they don't want to live in these polluted cities. So we have to help the Chinese to improve their environment and improve their work-life balance, and this is a fantastic opportunity for European and American corporations. So with that, I hope you have a little teaser on some of the things I have to offer. I've lived in Asia for 10 years with the multinational companies as Maersk and IBM, and I've done a lot of business with Chinese companies. If you need help with selling products and services to Chinese companies, or if you're going into the Chinese market or they're coming to your market, give me a call. Come to my website, transformationpartner.dk, and I'll be happy to take a meeting with you and see how we can help you become even more successful in the Chinese market. Thank you very much. Have a great day.